Hey, what's going on, guys? My wife has been asking for some pork belly. And when my wife asks for something, I do the best I can to make sure that make it happen. So let's go ahead and make some of this pork belly. All right, guys, so here's this pork belly. Now, this is a nice, thick, beautiful piece of pork belly. It's about a half a slab or a half a belly. Got this from Sam's Club. Nice and marble, plenty of meat. And generally when I make my pork belly, I just cut it into strips. I know a lot of people cut theirs into cubes initially and season it. I cut it into strips. It makes it easier. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing, but I'm going to make the strips a little bit thicker than I typically do. And when I break it down, I'm just going to have big, nice chunks as opposed to the cubes that you typically see. So I want to go probably 2.5 inches per strip. And then we're going to season it. I have some smoky swine seasoning by Fiesta brand, and then I have some Chipotle coffee type seasoning that I'm going to be using as well. This here, Mina's Espresso Honey Chipotle, and we're going to be using this smoky swine seasoning. I'll put a little mustard on there as a binder. Then we're going to season it up and we're going to get our smoker together. But you can see all this fat's going to render down nicely, and this is going to leave us with some succulent, delicious chunks of pork belly, of mustard on our belly. And we're going to coat it really well, all 4 sides. And then we're going to season this bad boy up. All right, so now we've got it all slathered with our mustard. We're just going to go ahead and season it. Again, this is Smoky Swine by Fiesta brand. And we're just going to go nice and liberal with that. You can see how I have these nice thick pieces of black pepper in there, and chipotle, and just all types of little different bold flavors that's going to make this pork really pop. And then my honey chipotle rubs got some of the same notes, but it also has the espresso in there and everything as well. So it's really going to be good. Make sure you hit all the sides here. All right, guys, so we got our pork belly all seasoned up. Make sure, just like the young ladies, you got to get them edges nice and seasoned all the way around. So I'm just going to let this sit, come up to room temperature a little bit, let this seasoning get tacky, and I'm going to go ahead and start up the Oklahoma Joe Bandera. All right, guys, so I'm out at my Bandera. We have it up to temperature. I'm running this thing at about 265 degrees. I love smoking at around 265 to 275. That's typically my sweet spot. If you want to smoke it a little bit slower, you could. But like I say, I like 265 to 275, and we're looking at about 4.5, maybe 5 hours to get this belly done, depending. All right, here's our first visual check. It's been an hour since we put the belly on. It's looking really good. That seasoning is set real well. It's starting to pick up some really nice color. So it's cooking beautifully. I'm running cowboy charcoal briquettes in my smoker. So I'm essentially using charcoal for the heat, and I'm using hickory wood as the smoke source. I'm not using a ton of wood. I don't want to overly pronounced smoke flavor, but I am using hickory for the smoke, charcoal for the heat. And here's what I'm using as far as the charcoal. I like this stuff. It's cheap and it works great. And here it is. About another hour and a half rather has passed. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and take these in the house, and I'm going to slice them, and we're going to go ahead and start putting some processes on. 75-ish for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So you can see how it's got a nice color. The smoke is really busting on this thing. So I'm just going to cut it down into chunks. Like I said, typically I cut them in a little bit smaller, but I just wanted some little bit bigger, more unctuous pieces this time. So I'm going to, each strip was cut about 2 inches, 2.5 inches. And now we're just going to cut into some nice blocks. And then we're going to put them in this pan and get them all the way tender. See, it's got a ways to go, but nice little smoke ring going on. Super juicy on the inside. fat is rendering, but we still got a ways to go on that fat and that intermuscular fat. So I'm gonna continue to break these down, put them in our pan, and then we're gonna cover them up and we're gonna go back in the heat. So all I wanna do now, I've got my pork belly all sliced up. I just wanna put a little bit of chicken broth in this thing, just to braise it, get it broken down and tender. We're gonna cover with some foil and continue to let it cook. It's gonna render quite a bit of fat. We'll drain that fat off, then sauce it up, cover it back up, and let it get sticky, then we'll be ready to eat. All right, family, so we've had our belly braising for a little over an hour now, and you can see all that fat that's rendered from the meat. We're just gonna drain that fat off, and then we're gonna go ahead and begin to sauce our pork belly and go ahead and get it finished up. All right, guys, and my sauce of choice today is this Maul's signature collection, sweet and sticky. It's not overly sweet, but it's sweet enough. And all you want to do is just go ahead and put a nice slather over your belly and then rub it in, whether you have a spoon or you use a mop or whatever the case may be. Then we're going to cover it up and continue to let it go for roughly 45 minutes to an hour. All right, guys, and here is our finished product. Got it out the smoke. It's ready to eat. That sauce has gotten nice and sticky on that meat there. Super tender. You can see how it's just breaking apart with that fork so simply. Now this is what I'm looking for. That way, I was wanting belly sandwiches. So if you wanted to make them in sandwiches, you could do it this way or however you like, but these things are ready. Let's go ahead and make a sandwich. All right, guys, so I have 3 nice, beautiful hunks of belly on my bun. I love pickles and onions on my pork belly sandwiches. I don't have any pickle or onion slice at the moment, so we're just going to use some pickles. Got a side of potato salad and a side of some of the best baked beans you could ever have. And this is dinner tonight, so my wife should be nice and happy. She's got her wish, and we're all going to eat good. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bells for the next videos. Till the next time, God bless.